Okay. Let's hope. Third time's a charm. All right. Just go to the bathroom. Nobius, speak. It's working. Is it working? Nobius, give me a sign. Can you hear me? Is it working? I can hear the background much better, says Kiki. Okay. Hopefully, all the people that were here before will come back in. He says it's perfect. I don't know what was going on before, but we switched devices. So here we are. Malia? What are you doing? You reading? That's Malia that you're hearing in the background. She's getting packed up, ready to go. All right. So so we have to use the benefit of your phone because we can't use my phone. You good?
No, I'm not good.
Okay, he's not good.
I'm not good. No, I'm not good.
All right.
So you want me to automatically be good? The answer is no.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got 3 people here. Call your friends. Tell them we're back online. I don't know what happened, guys. Sorry about that. But technical difficulties are just that. Technical difficulties. All right. Call Bluebird. Call Nobius. Call Gary. Ian. Come on back. We are live. We are live. All right. They're slowly coming back. Sorry, guys. We had a little bit of a glitch that we just couldn't figure out how to work it. And we had to switch devices. So here we are. You're not going to tell them, you're not going to open up with your line.
Which line now?
That you open up with every week.
Oh. The energy is a little off this week, guys. Energy is bad.
His energy is a little off, guys.
Off.
Why is your energy off?
Because you don't have no Ras manners.
I don't have no Ras manners? Okay.
None.
Gentosh, hey Nino, what's for dinner? Gentosh him vex because he never know to fix the technical difficulty. And him say me no manners. We're glad you're back. Thank you, Bluebird. Thank you, Bluebird. It was very frustrating because we couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. So now we're working off a tiny little screen and I can't really, it's not ideal, but we're going to make it work. So I think this is a sign that we need to get ourselves in gear and get the camera that we keep saying that we need to get and get it done once and for all, right, my people? So
and while you're at it, get an attitude adjustment.
Okay.
Because you need an attitude adjustment.
Do I?
You do.
All right.
You clearly do.
All right. Are you gonna say your line now? You're good now?
What, beautiful people?
What's up, guys?
Welcome once again.
Oh,
the energy come back.
Somebody back there is not happy. All right. So welcome to another Nino and Lo live, guys. And you know it's about to go down. It's about to go down. So I think we're gonna need to read some comments off of here because Kiki says he's back. Gentosh says, yay to the camera.
Can we not read them off of there?
No, but I need my script. That's why I put it here. I need my script.
You know what I just said about not having manners?
Why? I need my script. That's why I put it there.
Okay.
Because I don't have my script on my phone.
All right.
All right, let's put it here and then we don't have a script. How about that? All right, where are we? Okay, guys, I think we have a few people in. We can start our topic. Hello, Ian. Ian Wagwan. Gentosh. You should remember Ian St. Clair. Ian St. Clair, say hello to Gentosh. Where are we live? Oh, okay. Oh, here we are. Okay. Why can't I? Oh.
So on our way home.
Sorry, guys, I can't see your comments. I'm just calling you up on my screen. Bluebirds is here. Thanks for coming back, Bluebird. Hey, Ian, you remember Ian? Yes, okay. Oh, here we go. Here's our comments here. Now you say I sound marvelous. Very good, because you couldn't hear me a few minutes ago. The energy is back. There's the energy. Thank you. Okay, guys. So this week, the topic is island life versus city life. Now, in this context, we're talking about the island of Jamaica, but not everybody comes from Jamaica, right? So whatever island you might have grown up in, or it's city versus country life, Ian's in the dark as to who knows him. Ian, everybody knows those beautiful blue eyes. Nobius says the true test is how you come back, right? That's true, Nobius, and we're doing great. Thank you very much. Jen Tosh, island life every day. Listen, Jen Tosh, we're not in on the topic yet, as you can see, the peeps are leaving, the babies are leaving, the little ones are leaving, so we're gonna get into the thing. One Red's room. Oh, you do. So guys, before I even start, you guys know that baby boy was born this week. There's baby boy's mama. Baby boy was born. Healthy little boy. Mama's doing good. Daddy's doing good. Daddy. Malia, are you doing good? Come and say hi. Malia is a big sister now. So we're very glad that we went through that. And we did take a little bit of a break this week off of YouTube, if you didn't notice us. And that's why. Say hi. Hi. Are you going home now? Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. See you later.
Say bye, YouTube.
Say bye, YouTube.
Say what's up, guys.
Okay. Okay, see you later.
Bye.
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 Yeah, we took a little break this week just because baby boy was here.
Bye.
And we were just, kind of helping out mom and dad and whatnot. And, sometimes you need to take a little bit of break from YouTube. It's not always the thing to be out here in these YouTube streets. Ian says, congratulations to the growing family. Keep me saying hi to the princess. Bye, guys. The Gale family's leaving the house, guys. Red's Room is saying, awesome. Thank you, guys. And I have seen all your congratulations and your well wishes. And we thank you for that. Triple T's in the house. Wagwan, Triple T. Red's Room. I'm coming for the #1 spot. All right, Red's Room. Wagwan. Everybody's here. We were here about 5 minutes ago, guys. But we had some technical difficulties and we had to restart on a whole new platform, a whole new link for this live. But here we are, right? Here we are. Nothing's going to stop us today. Don't forget, everybody give you the thumbs up. Everyone give us the thumbs up. Thank you, Nobius, for reminding me. If you notice me looking down in the corner here, I'm looking at my computer screen because I can't really tell from the phone screen there, right? You might want to turn that volume down a little bit. Triple T says, you guys don't forget to like the live. Okay, so guys, we're going to start all over again. Nino, hit it. That's your cue.
What am I supposed to hit? You on the head?
He's so salty.
Am I supposed to hit you on the head?
You're so salty.
How am I salty?
Hit it.
Hit what?
Wagwan, beautiful people. That's what you're supposed to say. And I'm supposed to say, what's up, guys?
Okay, can we take that?
Red's Room says, hit it, Nino. Okay, you ready? Red's Room is giving you your intro. He says, hit it, Nino.
What, beautiful people?
What's up, guys?
Welcome once again to another episode
of Nino and Lo. Okay.
I'm big up on ourselves because today we're talking about what?
What?
Some city slicker and country slicker.
That's correct.
Island vibes versus city vibes.
Listen, did you not read the notes?
Is that the topic?
Did you not read the notes?
City versus...
He clearly did not read the notes, guys.
City versus country.
Listen.
Is that what it is?
Today,
what's the topic
we're talking about two big things. Growing up in the Caribbean, which is the ultimate showdown. Growing up in the Caribbean or growing up in the big city?
Yes.
Which one is it? Which one did you grow up in, guys?
Yes.
So clearly,
and
from
you know,
the thumbnail, He is the island vibe. I'm the city vibe.
You know the
right?
first thing you learn when you grow up in the islands?
What?
Learn manners. I like me, I tell.
We have plenty of
Learn
manners.
manners.
We have plenty of manners.
What
Thank
kind
you
of
very
manners?
much.
What kind of manners you have? Manners
Anyhow,
from the left or manners
if you
from the
grew
right?
up in a Caribbean
All right.
household, you already know
All right, see
that
that?
there are things that you swore you'd never do.
And there's certain
but
do's
you're
and,
doing
there's
them.
certain do's and don'ts.
There's certain things
Certain do's
that
and
you
don'ts.
had growing up
Mm-hmm.
and you swore that you'd never do,
Mm-hmm.
but you're doing them.
No, I always say good afternoon to my elders when I pass them, because if I don't, I know I will get what?
What?
Good ass whooping.
Okay. But
Okay.
we're asking,
So-
which is the better life? Is it the island breezy life or the slick city life? Which one's better? I want you guys to drop your flags in the chat. Let me know,
Let
are
us
you
know what
an
you're
island
thinking.
dweller or a city dweller?
That's it.
And I want to
That's
know where
it.
you're watching from. So now, Nino, you told me to put it here, but I can't see the comments. And you're not attending to the comments.
I thought you were doing the comments then.
How can I when I'm looking at my script? You see him tell me, "Some manners." You see that? No.
Well,
Come on,
obviously,
get your head in the game.
going along with this topic being confused and the
All
technical
right.
difficulties.
Listen, get
it's
your head in the game. That's all
get my
behind
head
us
in
now.
The game. Wagwan, Triple T.
Triple T
Triple
says
T.
he
Island
grew up.
life is better.
He
That's
says he
true.
grew up in a small village and town. Where was that, Triple T? Where did you grow up? Triple T says he wish he had an island life. Now it doesn't have to be a Caribbean island, right?
It could be any
And
island.
it doesn't have to be
any
an island per se.
It could be just
city
a country
life
versus
country life.
you
That's
know,
what we're
urban
dealing,
versus
dealing
rural.
with. Right.
That's what we're looking at.
Red's room says respect due.
Yeah, you know it,
he's
Red's
flying
room.
the Jamaica
Red's room.
flag.
Red's
Jamaica
room, you
all
know
the
your
way.
talk. You know
Lots
your
of
talk.
Jamaica
You know
flags
your
in the
talk.
chat. Gentosh, Jamaica
know?
flags.
We're talking about.
Red's room says Nino, get with it.
You
Get
know
with
what I'm
it.
saying,
Tell
Red's
him,
room?
Reds, get with
I'm
it.
trying to pick up the
Listen,
pickup.
When you're
Trying to pick up the
defeated,
pickup.
when you get knocked down, it's not about the journey down. It's how you can bounce back, and it's the journey back up, right? So we got the vibe back, where the technical difficulties are done, and we're about to have a good live, right?
We're having a good live.
We're having a good
All
live.
I'm saying is like up the lives as you come in, thumbs up. Okay, you know YouTube love the thumbs up.
Yes.
And let me remind you guys that make sure you tell your uncle, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your neighbor, and even your in-laws that you don't like to watch Nino and Low. So
That's
tune
right.
in.
Valita
All right?
Samuels is
What's
here.
going on,
Valita
Valita, on this
says,
Sunday
afternoon.
afternoon? I know Valita went to church this morning. And
That's right.
That much I know.
That's
And I
right.
know she prayed for me this morning because that, again, is another island thing. We all
That's
pray
right.
for one another.
Now, Triple T says it was Nova Scotia where he grew up.
Wicked.
Valita, Kiki says, I grew up in Toronto and I think that she would have liked island life better.
Yes.
Okay. Red's
Island
room.
vibes. Island vibes.
Red's room says, I was born in the island life, but I grew up in the city life. So it's all I know. There you go, right?
No,
say
we,
with me,
we
Reds.
can say the same thing.
I can say the same thing. But what we're trying to figure out is which one is better? Which one is helping you now?
I think.
Is it that
I think,
fast pace or is it the slow pace?
I think from a perspective of survival, I think the island vibes is much better because we learn to survive. We learn to survive on a lot less, you know, be it amenities or you know, extracurricular. We learn to some. Hey, I remember as a kid, not buying Nintendo but making my own game.
Okay.
Whether it's my own board
save your
games.
thought. We're getting there.
All right.
Now,
all right.
Ian says, my life experience has not granted me island life living. He's a Barrie boy, happy now to be in Toronto. Well,
Yes,
you might not
Ian.
have been, you might not have grown up on an island, but Barrie is kind
You
of
were
like
in-
a
you
bit
were
of
in
a
the suburb,
rural,
you know,
right?
rural type of deal. So
it's the same type of thing. Same type of thing, right? Who was that said facts? Red's room is saying to you facts, I guess, about making your own. So you have to keep an eye on that.
yes,
babe.
yes, I'll keep an eye on these.
And okay, so let me go. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to do two things at once.
Gentosh is saying, I'm all about the island life. Less stress and friendlier people. You're absolutely right in saying that, Gentosh. We're talking about island vibe. We're talking about friendliness, neighborly. Hey, there's a lot of things you remember and a lot of things you learn from growing up in the islands. You know, islands.
Where's all my stuff here?
Gentosh once again is talking about fresh fruits and vegetables. You can't beat that when it comes to island vibes. Everything about island vibe is fresh. And Red's Room is talking about camping.
Oh, gosh.
Camping, boy. This is the one you got to talk to about camping, camp life.
Okay.
Camping, them kind of things. Eh?
Now, let me ask you guys a question. What's one thing that your Caribbean parents did that you swore that you would never do, but you actually do? What's one thing?
Let us know. And Ian Sinclair is saying, let me tell you about a little world experience over coffee one day.
Okay.
We're looking forward to that, Ian. Over coffee one day, we can talk about that life growing up in Barrie.
Now, I'll give you an example. Using your plastic bags that you get at the store as a garbage bag, as opposed to an actual garbage bag that's meant for the garbage bag. That's one thing that they used to do that maybe you swore that you would never do, but you do. That one's not that big of a deal. But another thing is telling the kids, because I said so. Just because I said so.
Just because.
And you swear that you would never do that,
but you do the same thing.
Yeah, did your parents ever used to say, when you used to question them, they or you would cry for something, they'd say, you want me to give you something to cry for? Right?
Now, Gary's saying that he subscribed to the city life, but manners and respect and manners and principle, but both lifestyles need to implement putting people first, money, and
Let me
then
read
things.
that again.
Yeah, you go ahead and read that, honey.
And that's why I wanted to use your phone to do the live. But then I said, the man grumpy, you know.
No, it's not. Listen,
He's grumpy, but that's okay. I'm reading it here.
You want me to say manners again?
Don't say manners.
Manners.
Gary says, I subscribe to the city life, but with island manners and principles. Both lifestyles need to implement putting people first, money, and then things. Right? So he's saying in the island, there's a certain aesthetic, like Nino was saying earlier. You pass your elder, you have to say good morning, or else your parents are going to hear about it and you're going to get in trouble. Right? You can't pass your elderly aunt or neighbor without.
Now, you could pass them, but it's not without consequence.
That's right. That's right. Red's Room says, I've become the same worrywart that my mom used to be now that he has kids too. Okay, there you go. I did love the starry nights there, though. Ian's talking about growing up in Barrie. Because in the city, I must say the only time that I've really seen starry nights that I can remember, like amazing starry nights.
You gotta be out of the city.
No. It's when we had the blackout and everything was black and the stars were spectacular.
Well, listen. People that grew up in the islands can tell you this. So if you were in the rural parts of the islands, you know what thing them called Peeniwali.
I don't know anything about Peeniwali.
You don't know about Peeniwali?
No.
So Peeniwali at nighttime in the country, in the islands, it gets dark. And the only lights that you get are these little, I don't even know what they're called.
They're fireflies.
Fireflies that fly around.
Fireflies.
And they provide lights, little glimmer. Peeniwali we call them. And they provide little glimmer of lights. And that's what we use as guide to move about. Because it's not about that we didn't have light, but it's not every home that had lights.
Right.
And there weren't anything called street lights. You have to conserve.
Now, Keisha H is here. Everybody say
what's
big
going
up
on,
Keisha H.
Big up yourself.
Red Room is saying low manners, please.
All
low
right.
Nino.
You know what I'm talking about? Red, you know what I'm talking about.
He's so grumpy today.
It ain't about grumpy. It's about manners. Manners.
Red's Room says, I remember that night. Remember, we had the blackout here in the city. And we had to be resourceful because that blackout lasted for a few days, didn't it? You had people barbecuing in their front yards. They had to use up the meat in their fridge. And I mean, really, that's kind of like...
But hold on. Red's Room, I have to ask you this now, my brother. I style me. Nino is such a freshie. Red's Room says... Red's room said Nino is such a fresh.
Thank you.
Let me go back to the Jamaican again. Reds.
Thank you, Reds.
You are style me.
Thank you, Reds.
Let me know, my brother. Let me know. Because I know it's all love, baby. I know it's all love.
You're saying Peeny Wally.
Yeah, I know it's all love, though, baby.
Kiki says fireflies. They're called fireflies.
Kiki, you grew up in Toronto, I bet you. So you know about.
Gentar says, did you used to put Peeny Wallies in bottles?
Ross, Gentosh, you know what you're talking about. Peeny Wally in a bottle was your guide. That was your guide. I love that.
Okay.
I love the love, though, guys.
Kiki says she didn't know that those were used as guides. That's very interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that either.
Because I tell you something, Kiki. As you're in Jamaica in those rural parts and you see the Peeny Wally passing around, you can then get a glimpse as what's in front of you, the things that you can't see.
Okay.
Okay.
Here is somebody answering the question I asked, and this is May Adekoya. Wagwan May. That's a new face.
May.
A new
Welcome
name
to the
here
channel.
in the chat. May says one of the things that her parents used to do that she's now adopting is waiting for everybody to be in the house before she goes to bed. Right?
Ooh.
That's something. My mother would never want. She wants to know where everybody is.
And let me go a little further with that. Now, we used to have I don't know if any of you guys know about Irv Weinstein. Do you remember Irv Weinstein?
Yep.
From the Channel 7 News in Buffalo?
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock.
Do you know where your children are? Yes. That's something.
You remember that? Give me a thumbs up,
and
guys.
You had to be in the house before that came on the news.
And prior to that, you had to be home before the street light goes.
That's when you were a little younger.
A little younger, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Now, Novia says the true test of a man is how he handles himself under stress. That is so very true. Yeah. That is so very
Absolutely.
true. Now, Ian says a blackout in TO brought some island life flavor. You want to know it, Ian?
Yes, and it brings you back. It brings you back to, now, being that you're from an island or a small town, you might be used to the lights going out.
Yes.
Right? Because I tell you something, that's one of the things that is most frequent in Jamaica. Even now when I visit Jamaica, you hear what?
Go out.
Light gone.
Yes.
Water gone. And then you have to improvise. Mm-hmm. We don't experience that too often here in the city. But
Red's Room's showing you some love. He's giving you the fist bump and he's throwing you a drink. He's throwing you a drink.
I appreciate that, Reds. I know you're the man. You're the man, baby.
Nobius is welcoming in May. Zuri is entering the chat. Zuri, say hello to everybody.
Zuri? Say hi to everyone.
What do you got in your hand there? A balloon?
A balloon.
Okay, you can't be hitting me in the head with a balloon, my love. Red's Room says light pollution in the city is really bad. To see stars on those nights are almost impossible. And I'm telling you, it really is. But that night that we had the blackout, I'll never forget the way the sky looked that night.
No, Zuri.
Zuri? Where are we?
Zuri?
Bluebird says electricity changes a lot. They're saying hello to you, Zuri.
Say hello,
Red's
Zuri.
Room says the blackout was so crazy. It shows us how fragile that we are in the city life. Keisha H is saying hello back to Nobius and back to Reds.
Yes, welcome all you guys. Guys, don't forget as you enter the room, give us a thumbs up. You know, tap your screen, send us some hearts.
Now,
YouTube
I want you guys to comment about some of these. I have some notes. Zuri, what are you doing, baby? I have some notes here that I've been that I had jotted down prior. Now, these are some of the things that you might have grown up with, and let me tell you, let me ask you if these are still things that you do today. How about the strict discipline? Did you get the belt? Did you get the look? Or did you get the slippers? Or did you get the threats? Me, I go give you, listen, don't get me give you one box. All right? Did you get one of those?
Oh, I used to get that. So tell me, I used to get that.
Do you still now carry on those levels of discipline, or have you changed? Have you changed?
That'd be interesting to know. That'd be great service.
What kind of old school Caribbean rules do you still follow? Mm-hmm. And which Caribbean sayings live rent-free in your head? I have one. I'll tell you what mine is.
Live rent-free?
That live rent-free, meaning it's there all the time. Okay. If you can't hear, you will feel. That one lives rent-free in my head. If you can't
hear, you will feel. Actually, if you guys recall, the last time we were on live, our granddaughter couldn't hear, so she feel. Yes. If you guys recall her hitting her chin on this chair back here.
Because she was
jumping around and she wouldn't listen, even after we asked her to stop several times. And then next thing she ran, I'm sure you guys remember that. You ran off screaming, didn't you, Mama? But she lived.
Yes.
She lived to see another day.
Yes. Jentar says, Daddy threatened, Mother had the belt. Daddy would threaten, but Mother was the one with the belt. I think I can remember only getting the belt once, and it was barely anything. I was lucky that way. I was pretty lucky that way.
But I think on another note, though, that's why you're so broke bad.
Oh, we broke.
You never get the belt.
No,
you needed to get the belt.
Even with my kids and grandkids, I think I can remember one time that I was driven to really kind of lose my patience. But most of the time, I used to put them in the corner.
And does that work?
But I didn't. But the corporal punishment, or the slippers, or the threat, or the conk in the head.
But the question is, does the corner work?
I think it works just as well. Yeah. I don't think it works.
I don't think so. I don't think it does.
Well, I don't like the belt and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think we have to go to that
Rising
extreme.
Queen says, "West sweet you, I go so are you." That's a good one. West sweet you, I go so are you. Nobia says, "I got the yelling and the talking too." Triple T. Triple T says, "I got hit with the belt or spanked." See, a lot of us, I think, of that era were spanked, and back then it wasn't a thing. Right?
I think
nowadays
it's all about,
you cannot spank children.
It's negative reinforcement, though.
Yeah.
Right. These kids get out of line. And the difference with kids nowadays is they're not understanding that there are consequences to your action.
Yes, but
and I think that's one of the things.
Need to understand, as long as they're told what they're doing. A lot of times people just want to slap it.
I completely agree with you. If you're going to discipline a child, you have to tell them and explain to them what it is that they did wrong.
Yes.
To deserve that discipline. And the other part of that is that the punishment has to match the crime.
I always say that to you. The punishment has to match the crime.
And I think I have changed in that sense. But to say go to the corner only works.
No, but
for so long and
that's
it goes
right.
so
It
far.
has to be age appropriate.
It has to be age appropriate. And then when there's something more severe that takes part,
very please.
Right, you have to ensure that you provide a discipline to match that. Right? So I don't think going to the corner is something that works.
But you know what it is too?
Zuri, can you stop that, please?
Oh, she's going upstairs. What changes is when you change from parent mode to grandparent mode, right? Because whereas I might be able to discipline my children when they were younger, I don't have the same energy for my grandkids. Definitely not. Now, Triple T is asking if that was the blackout of 2004. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Where was I during that blackout?
I don't know.
I don't think I...
You were here because we were barbecuing in the front.
No, I wasn't here. I wasn't even in the country, I don't think. I might have been on a golf trip.
I really don't know.
Because I remember you guys telling me you're barbecuing and
where am I?
You have to go to the mall to plug in your phones and all that.
Ian says parents are afraid to discipline their kids nowadays. Punishment has to match the crime. Absolutely.
And it's not just parents, Ian. Even education officials.
Oh yeah, in Jamaica, you guys used to get hit with the belt.
We used to get with the belt. Now I recall going back home and having conversations with family members that are still in the education system, and I was told by them that you dare not put your hand or a belt on a child.
You should have never been able to do that.
Because, but here's the severe part is they will take revenge on you one way or the other.
Well, I know you've told me lots of stories of getting strapped.
Oh yeah.
In school.
Oh yeah. I used to have aunts that were teachers, that were my teacher in school, and then my dad's cousin was a headmistress at the school. So I would get it in the classroom. And then I'd be sent to the office. No, I'm not even home yet.
Oh gosh.
I'd be sent to the office. I'd get my ass scaled at the office, and I would be sent home with a note for a third level.
I went to school here.
I did all my schooling. Needless to say, I was well behaved after that.
In Toronto, and the most that you would be is sent to the office. They would never dare hit you in school. So that wasn't something we had to deal with. We Are Dream Warriors is in the house. Wagwan Dream Warriors.
Welcome to the channel.
Now, Dream Warriors says back in those days, parents never wanted to see their kids in the hands of the law. So they did what they could to make them listen and learn, right? David Hunt is here. Wagwan, David.
Welcome to the channel, David.
David says, hey, discipline to me means teaching instead of just punishment. Exactly
that is
my
true.
point,
That
David.
is true.
I think
that
when
is
it
true.
was
I would
when
agree with
we
that.
were younger, it was all about the punishment. And I think that is what our parents got from their parents before them. There was no real explaining why or what you did so wrong or how to correct.
And they didn't feel they needed to explain to you because, as they put it, they were the parent and you're the child.
Right. So
you did what you were told. And you don't question them.
Red's Room says it's almost a crime to discipline your kids. You want to know? Nobia says, I agree with We Are Dream Warriors. Red's Room, the kids of today have way more rights. Let me tell you, if you have a wayward child, they'll say, if you touch me, I'm going to tell my teacher or something to that effect, right?
Have you ever seen the Russell Peters skit?
No.
Where he threatened that he's going to call the police, and the father said, well, it will take 3 minutes for the police to get there.
And in that time, I'll have my way with you.
You know how much damage I can do in 3 minutes.
Now, Ian says, I don't have kids. Is it reasonable to suggest an age-appropriate conversation with the kiddo and agree on how to handle the punishment? I must say, there are two different... I agree with you, Ian. I agree with you. And I think I agree with you because I grew up in the city life of Toronto, but most Caribbean people that grew up on the island, they're not going to agree with you because they're going to say the kid is not going to determine the punishment.
Well, I will tell you, Ian, I may not have determined my punishment, but I was given a hand or a voice into what was used to punish me.
What? Do you want the strap or do you want the belt?
No.
What?
My dad will send me to cut my strap, a piece of limb from the tree.
Okay.
He will allow me to select.
That's barbaric. So you're going to provide capital punishment, and I'm giving you the option to choose which switch I use to beat you with.
That was the choice you had.
No, that's
you didn't have another choice. That was the only choice you had.
Getting beat at school is scary. Could you imagine your principal and your teachers beating you at school for doing something wrong?
But there are a lot of things that you guys did at school that you wouldn't have had the parents been involved with this discipline, or the teachers.
Ooh, I'm losing the chat here. Process. All right, so let's catch up. Now, Red says, I personally got hit in school and at home, but I would never do that to any of my kids, right? So I think as a general consensus, most people would agree with that. And they are saying that they're not bringing that mentality forward, right? So you're breaking that chain right there. And we just got a super chat from Kiki Rising Queen.
Kiki, welcome.
Thank you,
thank you for the super chat.
Because you know, Mama needs some new plants. And Papa needs some new pots. Right? So thank you very much. Thank you for that.
We appreciate that, Kiki.
You know, we never really asked for super chats. And
we don't. But
YouTube
you know
University says we need to put out our call to action.
We don't ask for super chat, but let me tell you. Send me some super chat and some Zelle. What do you call it? Zelle.
I don't think we have Zelle in Canada.
I heard that on another show, but send me some super chat.
Yeah, we don't have.
Because like Mama said, I need me some pots.
Yes. Now, where am I here? Yeah, Reds is saying that he would never do that to any of his kids, which is fantastic because you are no longer bringing that. You're breaking that chain.
Yeah, you found
a different way. Or you're breaking generational curses, as they say.
You'll find a different way to impose discipline on your children.
Right, and that is progress. That's
and a lot of that
that's
too.
All you can do.
A lot of the nowadays relentlessness to discipline is from what we've been through and knowing that there are other ways to handle it.
Definitely. Okay? There's definitely other ways.
And choosing to exercise those ways.
Where are we? Red's Room says hard discipline does work though.
It's got its place. It's got its place.
It depends.
It has its place.
It depends. I wouldn't agree with that 100%. Now, Bluebird says, true, parents had a hard time with the kids back in the day. Now, we can say talking is the way, but I see so many kids using that to their advantage. So true, so true. Red's Room says parents never explained anything.
They didn't need to because they were parents, and that was their explanation.
Yes.
Now they didn't respect the child's opinion, or if the child even had an opinion. I don't think he did. You didn't have a
Even
choice.
at 3 years old, now 4. Zuri just had a birthday. Everybody say, happy birthday, Zuri. She just had a birthday
turned 4.
within a week. But even at 4 years old, Zuri Rose Elliott, as small as you see her, comes out with the most profound explanations for things. And her reasoning is amazing.
She's very good at explaining herself.
She's had that vocabulary and that reasoning since she was just turning 3. So sometimes when we don't give these kids an opportunity to express themselves, I think we're giving ourselves a disservice, right? Where am I? Red says he got away with more when he lived in Jamaica.
Lost your way?
I've lost my way. Ian says, teach the child to be cruel. Break the cycle, not the body. Ooh, that's deep. Break the cycle, not the body, is his humble opinion. That's very profound. Very profound. Red says, my mom's teachings has taught me the way. New pots for Nino is what Red is saying. And more plants for Lo. There you go. There you go. Guys. Kiki Rising Queen is saying, big up to Nobius Nightshade. Bluebird says, sometimes talking to kids don't work. Unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't work. We never had an opinion as a child, said Red.
No,
but these kids, trust me, they have opinions.
They have more than opinions. You can't even talk to them without them, unraveling.
That's right.
You hurt my feelings. You did that. No, it's just nonsense nowadays.
Nobius says, well, these days, computers and TV make kids smart, but not wiser.
We got another super chat. Big up yourself, Red's Room. Bring on those pots. Hey,
Thank you, Reds.
I'm just getting a little closer to those pots.
Reds, me and you need to have a conversation.
Getting a little closer to them pots.
Thank you, Reds. Thank you. We appreciate it so much, guys. You, man. Reds Room says, pots for Nino, Lo is lost. And Ian is saying happy birthday to Zuri.
Wicked.
Gary says the whole concept of discipline in the Caribbean culture needs to be overhauled.
I agree with you there, Gary. I agree with you.
He says, I believe as adults, we may laugh now, but being disciplined back there bordered on vile abuse.
No, it doesn't border on it. That's in fact what it is.
Vile abuse. It is a vile abuse.
Now, when I reflect back at some of the ass whooping that I got from my father, it was abuse. It wasn't borderlining on anything.
Now, Reds is saying that facts to Nightshade about the kids comment, and he's saying that's for pots, Nino. Now get cooking. And he says love you guys.
No doubt.
Now Jen Tosh says my mom took the belt to me every Saturday. And she's saying that she didn't take the belt to her kids. That's what you got to do. You got to break the cycle. And Reds is agreeing it was on the border of abuse. All right. So what was my next point here? Oh, I asked, which of the Caribbean sayings live rent-free in your head? Right? If you can't hear, you will feel. Right.
Kiki had a good. What was the one that Kiki?
Oh, I can't remember. I have to go back in the.
He had a very good one.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about lifestyle. If you had to pick one of these, island life or city life, which one is giving you the life you want today? So what I'm trying to get at is island life might be peaceful. You have a lot of nature around you. But in the city, you have maybe a little bit more opportunity, maybe a little bit more convenience because things are more readily available, right?
Around,
and raising kids. Is it better in the island where you have a little bit more freedom to roam around as opposed to in the city where you have to be a little bit more regimented?
Wouldn't it be awesome and an awesome life to have both combinations?
That's right. But which life do you think is serving you now? If you had a choice, which one would you pick? And the pace of what you're going, of the life you're living. So in the country or the city life or the island life, it's a little bit more laid back. Maybe your mental health is a little bit more relaxed, as opposed to the city. It's stress on stress on stress. Is that better? Is that serving you more? And what is my other point here? Building community. So in the islands or the small town, you get more of a neighborly vibe. Everybody knows everybody else.
It's like Cheers.
But in the city, you're very independent. You don't even know who lives next door to you. If you live in a condo or something,
never
right?
mind who lived next door to you. People, if you say hi to someone in the city on the streets, they look at you weird as if
that's right.
You know, you're just out of your mind. Who speaks to people in the streets?
And then when you talk about gardening, when you're gardening in the country, in the island, you have, a lot more expanse.
Garden is for, people in the country are going to garden for food. Yeah. Whereas people in the city garden for
you might just have a little balcony garden, right? So which one of those is serving you best in today, right? So let's see what we have here. Red's Room is agreeing that yes, all that abuse was bordering on abuse. Mm-hmm. Kiki says, "What sweet you I go so are you?"
That's it. See, Kiki. There it is again. What sweet you I go so are you?
Red's Room says, "I used to have to hide the belt, but she would send me for something else." Oh gosh.
I can't even begin to tell you stories of when I used to get beaten when I was in Jamaica.
I must say,
my father had a way about himself.
Your father was such a nice man. He was
so a nice man, but I tell you, when you did something wrong, and my dad was gonna beat you, it's never going to happen the day that you expect it. So you did something, the neighbor complains about
he's messing with your mental.
Yes, the neighbor tells him about it. You think he's gonna come at you right then, but it's probably a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road.
When you feel comfortable.
When you feel comfortable, you least expect it. So picture this: you'll go to bed, you're wearing 4 shirts, 3 pants, because you're expecting it. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You know what is gonna happen? It's gonna happen when you go in to take a shower. You don't have no shirts on, no pads. There's no protect. It's just you, him, and the belt.
That's abusive.
That was torture. That was torture because you don't know when he's coming at you.
Ian says, "I will 100% recognize parents and folks raising their families have a wildly different experience than someone commenting on the do's and don'ts that they're doing their best." I think what he's trying to say that he's still, he might not have kids, but he can appreciate that people are out there doing their best. And the best that you can do is maybe gain some understanding and then just try to change some of the things that you grew up with that you didn't feel that were right? Red says, "As you get older, the freedom and the laid back lifestyle would be the best." So he's saying as opposed to being in the city, and the laid back lifestyle as you grow older would probably be better than the rush of the hustle and bustle.
I think so. If you learn to appreciate, and I did mention earlier that just imagine having a combination of both.
Yes.
So you have because there are certain amounts of discipline that comes with growing up in the islands.
But I think
growing up
for
in a small community.
It depends on where you are in life. Like if you're in that building stage where your kids are younger and you're younger and you're just trying to build, maybe the hustle bustle of the city would afford you more opportunities than being in the country. It's a little bit more laid back. You know what I mean?
But you find that people that grew up in the city and they spend their early years in the country rather, and they spend their early years in the city and then move on to the city, they tend to have a lot more discipline about them. Maybe. And they're much harder workers.
Because they know they're only staying in the city for a certain time too.
Or they plan to live in the city for the rest of their lives, but they come with discipline.
Now, May says, "We were brave but not allowed to express ourselves because a child must be seen and not heard."
There you go.
Yes.
And that was another one I was saying.
That's right.
It must be seen and not heard.
That's right.
So you're in a room with a bunch of adults and you hear adults conversing amongst each other. You dare not interject.
But I used to be
dare not interject.
A feisty little child because as a child, I would hear,
So is that what you carried on with in adulthood?
Well, growing up,
carrying that on in adulthood.
Growing up in Toronto and then hearing my parents' friends come with this heavy Jamaican accent and they would say these words incorrectly, in my humble opinion, as maybe a 6-7-year-old kid, and I would always correct them. And I remember my mother would always say, "Stop correcting people." But if you're saying a word like "hopple," I'm a little kid, and I know that's the word is not orange. I'm gonna correct you. Maybe that's where Zuri gets it from, and I used to always get yelled at for doing that. And I still do that today because when I hear that with my ear, ooh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't. I still correct people in my mind. Maybe not outwardly now that I'm an adult, but definitely in my mind. All right. So Red says city life will break you over time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Just
that is a given.
Traffic to get from point A to point B. Just traffic alone is going to break you.
It's going to break you. Exactly.
Now, Red says delayed beatings was the worst.
Oh, no. Red, you know I went through that.
Beating. Thank you,
You know I went through that. It was delayed and delayed and delayed. And Lo's absolutely right. It does affect your psyche.
Now, Gentar says, island all the way, warmth, green all year round, sense of community, best of all, my mental health is way better in the islands.
Yeah. I think in the islands, it's you actually go to work, and a lot of us can attest that we go to work, we go home, and we're still working, and then we go to sleep and we start the cycle all over again. You know, there's a starting point and an end point in the islands, because you know that come Friday at noon, nobody really works after noon on a Friday.
Why?
It's just a lazy day. You know the weekend is coming.
It's like a siesta.
Yeah, you know the weekend is coming. And they party all through the weekend. So the weekend is really a downtime for them.
But okay.
You know, and they truly enjoy their surroundings. They enjoy the environment.
Let me play devil's advocate. That all sounds well and good. But guys, for us that have grown up, you might have started out in the island and now you're here in a city, or you might have started in a small town and you're in a big city now. What is it that prevents us from going back to these smaller, slower paced places if we know that it has all these benefits, like Jen Tarsh said, right? She says it's better for her mental, her sense of community, her health is way better. It's green, the weather all year round. So why aren't we all making a mass exodus to these islands?
There are some people that are going back.
Why?
Because that's the environment they want to be in.
Okay, if we take out, the crime and all that, I'm not even talking about all that. Like, you might be I think the reason is it's almost too slow paced. I don't think me personally could live all year round in such a slow environment. I actually need a little bit of the hustle bustle. I need a little bit of the concrete jungle. So
you can design your lifestyle so you get a little of both.
Yeah,
and like anything else in life, it's all about a balance.
It is. Now, Red's Room is saying that was savage. Those delayed beatings were savage. It really was.
Oh, Reds, I was an expert on that. I knew.
Now, Ian is saying when you feel rested and ready is a wild attack strategy. That is wild. I'm telling you, they were wicked back then.
My dad was a
Red says both areas would be nice. That's true. A little bit of harmony from both types of lifestyles, right? Nobius is agreeing with May. They're all agreeing with May that kids were to be seen and not heard. Red says, Nino, you're looking for trouble. I can see it in your face. Nobius says, one of the things that's
trouble
in his mind, rent free, is when they say flim instead of film.
Flim. All right, never mind flim instead of film. Surfer ticket.
Oh, gosh. Oh gosh.
You get your bird surfer ticket.
These are things that I, as a child, when they hit my ear, I couldn't let it go, right? Oh, that's not the right chord, babe. That's not the right chord. It's not the right chord. That's chords for the computer. Now, Reds is throwing you a drink, telling you to chill. And Red says, I think it all comes down to how established you are in life. That's true. Because if you're established enough that you feel comfortable, that you can go back to your island living for a couple months out of the year and then come back to the rat race. That's so true, Reds. That's so true. And you're right. It's not safe. It's not 100% safe, especially if you've left that country living, because when you try to go back, it's not the same place you left. Miss Martha across the street isn't there anymore. Her grandson lives there. He don't know you. They're not there for the same community that you left It's not the community that you're going back to. That's one thing. And for people like me, I never had a sense of community there. So when I go in there, no matter how good my Jamaican sounds or does not sound, I'm always going to be considered a foreigner. That's for damn sure. Red's room, yeah, you've become a foreigner. That's what Red says. And that's 1000% true. You've become a foreigner. Ian says, balance, Nino, balance, balance. Gentar says, Lo, leave the heavy accent alone.
I don't think
the orange and the apple. I can't even say it with my mouth not going. Now, Gary, I love when Gary talks. Gary brings these little nuggets of wisdom to us. Now, Gary says, these lines from Bob Marley's "I Shot the Sheriff" lives rent free in my head. He says, every day the bucket. Every day the bucket goes to the well. Tell you what, one day the bucket bottom will drop out.
For real.
You see, Gary, those are one of those Jamaican songs that when you leave Jamaica at a certain age, that's part of your Jamaican songbook. I never got the songbook. I left before I got the songbook. I'll be at a function, all of a sudden everybody breaks out in song. I always whisper to Nino, how does everybody know the words to
the songbook was issued to everyone. Your parents just neglected to go and pick up yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I never got the songbook, but there are some
that's
songs
one of those
I do.
Songs. Every day a bucket go well, one day the bottom half a drop out.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, that's a parable.
Yes.
All right, Bob Marley. Word to Bob Marley. Red says, for the beatings I got, I would never take it back. It actually worked for me. See? He's saying that
Red, you know what? It worked for me as well. As harsh as it was, there are times when I reflect back on that and said, you know what? I actually deserved it. And if I didn't get those beatings at those times, who would I be today?
Well, you'd have been bad man.
Bad man I wrote.
Okay. Reds is saying nice one to Gary. Nice one. We are dream warriors. So true. Going back is only for a visit because the whole lifestyle may be different. That's right.
And
Red's room is saying facts.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to speak for Jamaica, and I'm sure any other islands or small communities. When you get back there, things has drastically changed from when you were a child. Yeah. There are some things nostalgically that remains the same.
And if you expect it to be the same as when you left, good luck.
No, it's going to shift. It's going to change. And I say this to say that there are times when I go to Jamaica quite frequently, and from one visit to the next, so much has changed.
Absolutely.
It's insane. Just can't keep up with it.
Now, Ian is telling me that it's never too late to get a copy. The thing about it, Ian, when you try to, I can still get a copy, but mine is going to have a big stamp on it that says foreigner. No matter what, I can tell them where I was born, the hospital, everything.
It doesn't carry the same credentials.
It doesn't carry the same weight. It doesn't carry the same weight.
It doesn't.
It's the paperback instead of the hard copy.
Paperback instead of the hard copy.
Novia says, those were tough times back then, so I feel for you, Red's room. And Red's room says, yes, Nobius, things are just not the same. And Ian says, the only thing that stays the same is change. The only thing that stays the same is change. That one is a good one.
That's a good one.
I got to write that down. I like that one. The only things that stay the same is change. And speaking of that, I was talking to a friend and I came up, I had this lyric in my mind, and it stays with me all the time ever since I heard this song. This is a Jay-Z line, and I find that a lot of Jay-Z lyrics are so profound. Jay-Z, is it Jay-Z, Tremaine, or is it what's name? Drake that said, I think it's Jay-Z that says, tight circles, no squares, I'm geometrically opposed to you. Is that Jay-Z? Yeah. Yes, Jay-Z. Meaning that my community is so tight, I don't have any room for people on the outside to join my community, right? I'm geometrically opposed to you. Meaning you can't fit with me.
You can't penetrate
it. You can't penetrate my tight circle. I love that. That lives rent-free in my mind. But Ian says the only thing that stays the same is
It's
change.
change.
I like that. I like that. Red's Room
Absolutely.
says it's never too late to get a
song,
copy.
to
That's
get a copy
wild.
of the songbook.
Reds, do you have your copy?
Reds, I have tried.
You have your copy, Reds?
I have tried, Reds.
Let me tell you.
This is a lady that cannot understand when you're in Jamaica. And I'm going to say when you're in Jamaica, and you're taking public transportation, and you get two people coming to the taxi beside you. She can't get used to that. So she has to drive around in her private automobile. No public transport for you, don't you?
No, sir. No public transport because they want to bring. Listen. Don't even get me started. Okay, my other point is, how did Caribbean values shape the way you live now? How did the Caribbean values that you got, whether you were there and you got them there, or whether you were here and you got them here, how did they shape how you are now?
You know the one value that...
Hold on, I'm not finished with the question.
Oh, you got a part B.
You can mix island culture such as food, music, your parenting, and why some things just stay with you no matter what. Like certain things are just going to stay with you no matter if they're good or bad. And some of the food, the music, the traditions, what is it that you do now that you grew up doing or learning? Come on, let's go.
Let's get it on.
We Are Dream Warriors says the good thing is that we have memories. We don't have to relive things that we can just ponder about or remember. Very good. Ian says, the paperback.
Memories.
The paperback version, Ian. I'm telling you, I got the paperback.
You need the hard copy.
I need the hard copy. Red says, Black people have memories that are stuck in their heads. And he says, can't let it go. And he's passing the drinks around, guys, giving everybody a
Red's
drink.
always got the drinks going.
And Dreamweaver says, that is a great line. I am geometrically opposed to you. I like that geometric lyric too. Yeah, it's so profound. Yeah. It says so much in just a few little sentences. Red says he has the hard copy. All right, all right, Red, you have the hard copy. Listen, sometimes we'll be at a function and everybody will just break out into like a church song. And I'm like, how do these people in this dance hall party know this song? That's because
what's the most popular one?
As children, they all went to church.
What's the most popular?
They all went to Sunday school with their granny.
I am blessed. I am blessed.
Yeah, but that
every day of my life I am. That's a church song.
That's what I'm gonna say.
But
now it's turned down into the dance hall.
But it's still,
let's get the vibes going.
But the vibes about that is still church based. It's still church based. But it's, you know, when someone break out into that song at a dance hall, right? They're really still singing a church song. It's just the environment that they're in.
Okay.
And they all know it because they know it's a Sunday morning and they forgot Sunday school. Because Granny, you can't sit home and tell Granny you're not going to Sunday school. That's not going to work.
All right. Ian says geometry doesn't change, but perspective helps different shapes fit together nicely. That's true. That's true. I never looked at it that way, but that is very true.
That's interesting.
Now, Nobia says the Caribbean vibe gave us some time to relax so that we can make different choices that work for us now instead of against us. That's true. And I think there's a lot of there's a lot of things that traditions that we've carried on, such as soup on a Sunday.
No, soup on a Saturday.
Sorry, soup on a Saturday.
Rice and peas
and meat on the Sunday. The way that we gather for certain things, right?
And you know the one thing that I do religiously?
What?
That is just so profound, but it's something that was taught to me from an early age.
What's that?
You notice every day I'm going to work, I have to get up and iron my shirt.
Iron his shirt.
I have to iron my shirt every morning because
with a crisp
it's always said to me, my dad always said, your clothes have to iron and press and you have to be presentable.
Yeah.
So I make it a point to get up extra early to do that every day.
My clothes don't require ironing.
You know?
Now,
it's one of those things. It's all about your appearance, and I truly believe in it.
Now, Red said,
"You got a diamond.
You look like a diamond."
Now,
You
Red
have a diamond.
Okay.
Okay. Not so loud.
Now, Red says Caribbean values has made me a loved husband, father, and a better person overall.
Amen.
There you go.
Amen.
That's
Red.
all you can hope
Amen.
for. Now, Kiki says values traditional dishes, cleanliness
is next to godliness.
Is next to godliness, cleaning while blasting music on a weekend.
Ratted
Oh gosh. That is a
Kiki.
thing.
You
that
know
is
that.
A thing, Kiki.
And that has to be done on a Saturday.
On a Saturday.
Cleaning day.
Yes. Has to be clean.
The
Soup
music
on Saturdays, rice and peas on a Sunday, says Kiki.
Right,
Pinky says, you have the Canadian handbook though. That's right. I have the Canadian handbook. The true North Strong and Free handbook. Thank you very much.
The Anne Murray handbook.
Listen, I love Anne Murray. I love
Anne Murray and Buffy. What's her name? Buffy.
Rita McNeil.
Rita
McNeil and Gordon Lightfoot. Those are Canadians.
What about Buffy
Buffy St. Marie. She's a native singer.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, that is so true. I have the Canadian songbook where we go camping when we're kids. We go to Girl Guides and we do brownies. My brothers played hockey. I took piano lessons. These are things that growing up I used to get teased for because I was too Canadian.
I remember going to my squad when I was an air cadet growing up.
Okay.
When Downsview Air Force Base was Downsview Air Force Base. Squad 188. I was a part of Squad 188.
So you're saying you're a soldier?
No, I was an air cadet.
What's an air cadet? A soldier in training?
No, it's not a soldier in training. It's like going to Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other day I saw on television they had a bunch of Toronto police officers marching.
Okay.
And they were so uncoordinated and out of sync.
So that's one thing that they teach you to do? Is march?
To march. You march in sync.
Okay.
You perform your duty in sync with each other.
Okay.
I don't think the Toronto police ever taught that.
Oh my gosh.
It was embarrassing to watch.
Oh my gosh.
One of those things.
Now, Nobius is agreeing with Kiki about the soup on Saturday. Now, Pinky says Newfoundland folk songs are some bangers, though. You want to listen? The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, we learned that in school, in primary school. The legend lives on through the Chippewa down. You know that song? The big lake they call Gitchigumi. That's a Gordon Lightfoot song.
Timbaleo, run like a donkey run.
That's part of the Jamaican songbook. Okay. We didn't sing it like that.
All right.
We said Tingaleo, my donkey walks, my donkey talks.
My donkey eat with a knife and fork.
We didn't say that.
My donkey run, my donkey jump. The donkey play and a bongo drum.
See, you add a little bit more sauce to it. But that wasn't part of the Canadian songbook, man.
But songbook.
Down east, who was it that said they came from Nova Scotia?
Who's the buys that builds the boat?
Eyes the buy that builds the boat. Eyes the buy that sails her. Eyes the buy that catches a fish and brings him home to Liza. Okay? So if Triple T is still here, that's word to Triple T and growing up in Nova Scotia. He probably knows all those songs. Where am I? Okay, Reds. You see this thing? Just as I find where I'm supposed to be, it just jumps.
We also got a.
Red says I can't say I know too many cert songs because Mana Ninja.
See there?
Everybody, if you don't know Reds is the ninja
check out
in
Red's
this YouTube
room,
street,
guys.
and I hope you all have subscribed to Reds. Please subscribe to Reds. He is the Mana Ninja about town.
Ninja.
Red says this power nap I just woke up from has me energized. I can't take power naps. I need to either sleep or not.
I do them all the time.
Pinky AFM dropped another
big super chat.
Super chat.
Thank
you, Pinky AFM.
Hey guys, don't be shy to throw up your super chat. And I'm telling you right now, I've got 12 people tuning in. I've got 14.
Listen,
we're doing all right with that.
That is
big up
the
third
super chat of the live stream.
Yes.
That is a record for us.
Yes,
big up. Thank you to everybody for
one
being here,
one step closer to the pots.
Thank you.
One step closer to the pots.
Now, Nobius says, so you're saying West Indian Club is made up of a bunch of church peoples drinking and partying?
Pretty much.
Basically, yeah. They're all drunk when the church songs come out.
I'll tell you this, Red's Room, if you stand in front of a church, any church on the island, on a Sunday, you will see two things.
What?
You will see a lot of women and children going in and out. You won't see men. But if you go down to the local drinking hole, this is where you'll find all the men, and that's right. Welcome to the West Indies.
Now, Red says, Bud man no work on a Sunday. Bad man no work on a Sunday. Now Nobius is saying
Wicked.
big up to Pinky. Red's Room is throwing Pinky a drink. Thank you, Pinky, for the super chat. Bluebird says yes, Pinky AFM. Big puppy on the grace. Huh? Big puppy on the grace. I don't know what that one means.
Big puppy on the grace. Is that a song?
I don't know.
That might be a song.
Hangle. Red's Room says
Handle
hangle.
yourself.
Did you guys hear that H in the
Handle
hangle?
yourself right. Handle yourself
Well
right.
done, Lo. Well done. Okay. You like my singing, do you? Nobius wants to know if you march like a stormtrooper.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Reds wants to know why we don't have memberships up yet. Reds, I promise you, it's coming, it's coming. We are Dream. Thank you, we are Dream Warriors.
Welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the
That's
super
number
chat.
4. Oh my God, this
One
is
step closer
you see,
to the pot.
The day started out bad with our technical difficulties, and we got 4 super chats.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank
Appreciate
you guys
that,
very
guys.
much. But
Appreciate
Reds,
the
as
support.
far as our membership, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Trust me, it's coming, it's coming.
And we hope when we do get the membership, we get all you guys subscribing. You know, tell your mother, tell your uncle, tell your cousin, your friend, and all your in-laws, and all the one way you don't like. You know my line. Tell everybody.
Now, We Are Dream Warriors says your streams on a Sundays are such blessings. Thank you, and we
Thank
love
you. We
vibing with you
appreciate that.
guys. Red says,
appreciate
Lo, you have an assignment to set up those memberships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Red says, I tried to gift some memberships and he doesn't see the option. And Nobius says, Nino, you're so country.
And you're a little bit rock and roll.
That's right. And Red says, well done, Dream Warriors. And Nobius says that they like the streams too. Red says, please set up the super chat goal. Okay. You have to.
What's a super chat goal?
There's a goal that you set up every day. Here it is.
Okay.
There's the goal. You set that up when you start your live. And that's the goal that you're trying to reach.
I got you.
All right.
You got to start doing that.
All right, so guys, what are we voting now? Is it Team Island or Team City? Shall we take a last vote and see which one won? I'm voting for the Team City.
I'm voting for the Team Island.
I'm voting for the Team City. Zuri?
Are you going to school, Zuri?
Zuri has got a new backpack and
Come
she's
and
just ready to go.
show your backpack.
Now, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and to give us that thumbs up if you haven't already given us that thumbs up, so that you never.
Show everybody your backpack.
Uh-oh, they can't see.
Nope, we gotta hold you up. That's her backpack there. She's ready for school. And she got a little pencil case.
What's in
What do you
here?
have in there?
My books and pencils.
Are you going to
Oh,
school?
your books and pencils.
We
Oh,
haven't
we got
started
another
school
one.
yet.
We got another super chat in the house. Pinky AFM just re-gifted another super chat.
Wicked.
Guys, today is our
Super chat
lucky
day.
Sunday. Now, Gary says, what sits with me is the men of a certain generation and culture father children without the regard for how those children would be parented, resulting in a tremendous number of broken people.
Amen, Gary.
Now you're digging
Amen,
you're
Gary.
digging in the crates.
Yeah,
there,
we're
Gary.
going in the crates. Amen to that. And they're, you know, back in them days, them call them blank man. Remember them one them call them? They make reference to them.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about? You know?
No, I don't know.
They're real losers, though. They're just they father children and they don't.
Well, nowadays
Don't mind
I think the
People are
tide
much
is
more
changing.
aware.
I think
Yeah,
the
it is
tide
changing.
is changing.
It is changing. It is changing.
Now May is saying that she is Team City. Reds is saying that he's Team City.
I'm all about Team Island. Who else is Team Island out there?
We Are Dream
Let me see
Warriors
them
is
pop
loving
up.
on Zuri's bag.
Let me see the Islanders pop up in there.
Reds is saying
Team Island.
welcome back, family, to Dream to Pinky and to big up for the
No,
super
we
chat.
got
And
another
Nobius is
nice
giving us
change. We got
guys.
another super chat.
Guys,
We
you
got
guys are
another
spoiling
super
us.
chat. We appreciate that, guys.
Reds is saying,
Thanks for
Gary,
the love.
that is so
Thanks
deep.
for the love.
That is so deep.
Profound.
And Gary is
Indeed.
Team City. We got another super
Oh, you guys
chat.
are just outnumbering me. I'm going for the island vibe, and you guys are all going for.
Jentosh is Be careful here. Jen Tosh is you okay?
I thought Rob was out there.
He just came in.
No, but I didn't realize that.
Jen Tosh is saying that she is the island vibe. Look at
yes,
this.
Jen
Gary
Tosh. Rotted. Gary, big up yourself. We
Gary
appreciate
says,
the
my
super
contribution
duper chat.
Gary says, here's my contribution.
You just shmee
oh, Lord. Yes.
Why? Why you
because I'm
shmee?
trying to read this.
Okay. Go ahead and read.
Gary says, here's my contribution to manifesting that this channel becomes something. From your lips to God's ears.
God's ears, yes.
And Red says, you guys definitely deserve the love. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I promise we are getting our act together.
We appreciate all the support.
We got another one.
We got another from Ian Sinclair, another super chat. We appreciate the support, guys. You guys are awesome. Keep supporting us. Keep beating that drum behind us.
And I'm sorry
Keep
if I'm
encouraging
missing
others
some of these
to join
comments.
our chat, join our live, and we love you guys.
Jen
Keep doing
is
what
here.
you do.
Wagwan Jen. She's saying hello to Auntie and
Big
Uncle.
up yourself, Jen. Always welcome.
Ian says,
we love
thanks
that. Thank
so
you
much
join
for
us.
the inspiration to get my Saturday cleaning done on this Sunday evening.
Yes. Right.
Thank you so much, Ian.
So you missed the Saturday, Ian, but you're getting it done. I love that.
Jen is saying happy Sunday to everybody. And Reds is saying this is a blessed day for everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
And is thanking Ian. ANI family is here.
ANI family, welcome to the
Sunday.
channel. ANI, you know, cooking the rice and peas already?
ANI is in Jamaica, and I know ANI is having rice and peas because today is Sunday.
Yeah? Chicken in any form.
Gary's saying you're welcome to Red's room. Red's room is welcoming in ANI. All right, guys.
You guys are awesome, man.
Now, Jen Tosh is definitely Team Island. Mm-hmm. And Reds is reminding me to set up my membership. Yes, I will set up my membership. And you know, like I said, this week we had a major event.
There's been a lot of things happening this week.
Lots of different things, right? We had,
as you guys all know, we got our first grandson.
Yeah, so we kind of
grandson.
We just were, and the weather was so bad this week. It rained for the
entire week. It did good for my grass though.
So I just kind of, you know, didn't stress myself. All my editing that I needed to do, I just set it down, and everything that I needed to kind of set up with YouTube, I just put it down and took a break for the whole week. I was barely on any platforms this week. So if you guys didn't see us in your videos this week, that's why we just took a little bit of a break. And sometimes you need to do that, right?
We need to recharge as well, right?
Where are we here? ANI says, yes, they did. They had their rice and peas and chicken today.
Wicked. I love that.
Dream Warriors says, the love is real. Gary says, big up yourself to Dream Warriors. Guys, this was a great chat about the island life versus city life. It brought some perspective into, you know, the way that we were raised to the way that we're doing the raising. And of course,
when we're talking about island life versus city life, we're also talking about smaller town versus big city,
right?
So
I'm going to be a city girl till the day I die. I have to be in the big city. I need all that, the urban jungle around me. I think that's just the way I'm built. ANI says, yes, we have the nice rice and peas on a Sunday.
So ANI, I have got to ask you this though, ANI. Is it carrot juice or sauce?
Oh gosh, here we go. Here we go.
Let me know.
Red says, great family. Thank you so much for that, Reds.
Reds, you're awesome.
And we're just so thankful that we had...
we're thankful and grateful.
Yes, that we had a nice birth and everything is doing okay. Bluebird says, yes, you need to relax and recharge low. Yeah, I realized that I had to do that. I just put everything down. Okay, Reds, no more excuses. This week, we'll get her done. We want memberships, he says. We'll get her done.
We want memberships. Chant that. We want memberships.
Now, Gary says, Lo, I'm with you all the way. Those atrocious pronunciations, such as, I can't read this. Aspirating when there's no H. Jamaican patois has calibers, such as when Louise Bennett does poetry and talks folklore. Yeah, there is
a place for that.
A cadence to the way certain people talk. And of course, it depends on where you are, right? There's that uptown Jamaican Andrew, there's that Upper St. Andrew accent, there's the Gaza, the Gully accent, just very much like in England, where they have the different levels of accent based on their socio-economical stage and all that kind of jazz. But it's all fun. And as a child, it's funny how
their socio-economical stage.
Yeah. Like
so it's not just patois.
No, because
patois with a twist.
For instance,
right.
if you make more money and you're rich and you're part of the upper echelon,
so the Upper St. Andrew type of
like the Queen's English,
okay.
everything is more proper, and you're on the telephone and you said, "Can you hold on for me, please?"
Right. I got
but when you're down at the gully, you might say, "Listen, boy," or whatever. You know, you drag your words, and that schwa is more defined, as Gary would say.
Fair enough.
So there's levels to this based on socioeconomic, right? Anyway, stop trying to make fun of what I'm saying.
I'm just trying to make fun of your look at uptown self.
Nice try.
Yeah? Look at uptown self.
Everybody's greeting everybody. Red says, we don't want to hear nothing about break. We want to hear about membership. Miss it?
Break, all
right. And there's a few memberships that we need to join too, don't we? A&I family is saying hi to you, Nobius. Great live, says Rez. Yes, we are winding down, and we want to thank you all for being here. Red's room, stop, big up everybody and hand out the drinks.
It's like Red's room want intend to forget the whole room drunk.
Yeah, listen.
But we love that, Reds.
Memberships
Appreciate
and no breaks, says Bluebird. Well, going forward, we will definitely have the memberships. So, like I said, don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the vibes. Please check out some of the videos that we do have there. We have, guys,
a lot of interesting videos. There were over 600 videos.
Almost 700, if not over 700.
And I want to let you guys know that the last time I checked, we were probably about 5,000 or 6,000. 5,000 or 6,000 away from 1 million views.
No, we're more than that. We're about 75,000.
Oh, 75,000. Pardon me. 75,000 from a million views.
I can't even.
That is absolutely incredible. So once again, I want to encourage all you guys.
Yes.
Tell your mother, tell your cousin, tell your uncle, your friend, even tell your in-laws to tune in to Nino and Lo.
Yes.
Subscribe to Nino and Lo. Hit that subscribe button, and you will be notified every time we have a new
and we want to thank you all for sticking with us after we had our little technical difficulties. But you know what? We
got over it. We came back strong.
Yes.
And we're finishing strong.
What Beyonce says, when they gave her lemons, she made lemonade.
Makes lemonade.
That's right. So we are going to wrap it up. And we want to thank you all. And for all those who gave us super chats this week, we thank you so very much.
Special thanks to my man Red's Room, Gary. Special thanks to Ian and everybody. Jentosh, on a big up on herself. On a lodge.
Jentosh says there's nuances to the Jamaican patois.
Oh, exactly.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Jentosh.
There are nuances. That's true. And it depends on which part of the island you're from, because this one speaks that Montagonian patois. And he says that there's no such thing, but I hear it different from the way my cousins speak who are in Kingston. So there is a difference.
So are you saying that there's a difference? Is it better versus?
It's not better. It's just different.
All right.
Okay.
I don't profess to be from Kingston. I'm from Montagonian.
No, you come from country.
Wait, why country?
Now we are Dream Warriors saying happy Sunday. Nobius is saying have a great rest of the day. Gary says, look like that technical snafu worked out in our favor in today's
we did have a
live.
great show. Thank you guys. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Even though he was grumpy because we were having technical difficulties, but we made lemonade.
Manners! Manners!
Have a great night, guys, says Reds. We'll talk, Reds. We'll talk. Bluebird says, see you next week for sure. Same bat time, same bat channel. Okay, what's your closing line?
What's on the nose?
I'm out. All right, guys.
Big up for the 7. Later, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.